Hi everyone, thanks for joining us for this month's update on our livestock markets. I'm Colter Brown from the Northern Ag Network. Well, there are plenty of challenges continuing to persist for livestock producers. We're still battling record costs and many producers are in a historically tough winter. But as we look at the markets, it's hard to be disappointed. Just about every price you can find is pointing higher, and we're watching these cattle producers gain leverage almost by the week. Sometimes it feels like by the day. Today we're going to talk about the strong performance we've seen out of the cash cattle and of course the futures as well. We'll look at the feeder cattle, the bred cow and weigh-up markets. That weigh-up market just won't be slowed down. We'll talk about some bull prices as well, and we'll even look at box beef, cattle on feed, and wrap up with the Cattle Facts' updated market outlook. Real quick though, I do want to thank the sponsors of our report. Of course, Ag Risk Advisors continues to support us here. Producers may want to consider some price protection options this spring, and one of the most affordable ways to do so is with livestock risk protection. Ag Risk Advisors are the experts on LRP and can set you up with daily LRP rate emails. Find more at lrpadvisors.com. And we've got a new sponsor joining us this month, Nutrilix. With the added stress of the winter storms and calving gearing up for producers, Nutrilix can provide a solution to your feeding problems. Get more out of what you already have with liquid supplement delivered to you by your trusted local Nutrilix dealer. Well, last month we spoke about the semi-annual cattle inventory report and what that tells us about just how tight these cattle supplies are getting, and really they're likely to continue to contract over the next 2 years. That is going to push prices higher, but frankly, over the last month here, I've been surprised just how strong these cattle prices have been, especially as we look at the futures market and what the feeders have done. In a rare occurrence here, feeders outperforming the live cattle. These are the highest feeder prices we've seen since September, and boy, the expectation is that they are going to continue to move higher. You've really got two factors impacting those feeder cattle prices. First, of course, just how tight supplies are getting, but also corn costs. Feed costs, of course, playing a big part there. And we actually have seen feed costs come down. Now that could change very quickly. We've seen that happen before, but USDA said they expect 3% more acres of corn to be seeded this year, and they're forecasting record high yields, which could lead to the second largest corn crop on record. They're saying that'll lead new crop corn prices down $1.10, under $6. We'll see if it actually happens, but boy, you look at those deferred feeder contracts there, and we're expecting prices to improve, gaining $5 just over the last month here, a $23 premium from the March feeder contract out to the August. So definitely expecting these prices to increase. And I don't mean to sell the live cattle short either. They had a strong month here, not the gains that the feeder cattle did, but also they didn't slide back near as far as the feeders. For the live cattle, they're right near contract highs, just showing a lot of strong performance across almost every contract. Now, if you look across all those, you can see we're expecting some seasonality in the market to happen here. Prices likely to soften a bit in the late spring and into the summer as fed cattle supplies become more abundant. That's going to put some short-term leverage into packers' pockets, but not going to last. As we get out to next winter, we're going to see these live cattle prices likely higher than they are right now. Really, the most exciting aspect over February here has been the cash cattle market just churning higher. Dress sales $13 to $15 higher in just the last month here. Live cattle sales $8 to $9 higher. That's more than $100 a head gained in the month of February. And boy, we've got some strong cash cattle prices. The live sales, they averaged $164, just shy of that. Dress deals at $261, 15% higher than where they were a year ago. Now, of course, as our economy continues to battle inflation, there's been concerns about beef demand, and those concerns are going to be with us for a while, it seems like. But consumer beef demand not pulling back. You look at these wholesale beef prices, the choice box beef cutout actually at its highest level in a year. So we're still moving that beef. It appears that the retailer is giving up some leverage, though, because retail beef prices actually a little bit lower than they were at this time a year ago. Well, we want to talk quickly about the cattle on feed report that came out here in February. No real surprises there, actually. Came in right where it was expected for inventory, down 4% from a year ago. Marketings were strong. They were up 4%. The moderate surprise was placements. Less cattle placed than was expected to be, down 4% from a year ago. That's a trend we can expect to continue through most of the year here as these cattle supplies continue to tighten. You can see where we are on the calf crop and how that is expected to continue to shrink going forward. That's just going to put more leverage in the hands of producers. As we look at the recent feeder sales that we've had here lately, a strong sale from Torrington Livestock. You can see those upper 4-weight steers topping out at $259. A lot of the 5-weight selling $225 to $239. 6-weight steers $202 up to $217. And at the public auction yards, we saw some replacement efforts going through, and the demand for feeder cattle actually helped to push those replacement heifer prices higher. 6-weight selling $202 to $210, and some of those heavier 7-weight replacement heifers selling from $182 to $188. Also, you can tell the spread between steers and heifers is starting to narrow some. We've just got less replacement heifers on hand than we've had since the bottom of that last cycle in 2014, so that is going to push those replacement heifer prices higher. But of course, the determining factor there is going to be moisture. You can see the view there between the drought monitor, the most recent drought monitor, and where we were a year ago at this time. Now, some places in the West have seen drought conditions improve. Although they were so poor, it's hard not to improve from where we were a year ago. But boy, the winter conditions that some producers in areas like central and southern Wyoming have dealt with, they are paying for this moisture dearly. It's a challenge to get the feed to the livestock. So we're just hoping that when the snow melts and the grass greens up, they'll be thankful for it and be able to just survive these tough conditions. Our prayers certainly with them. As we look at the cow market though, I mentioned the weigh-up cows, they continue to push higher, about $10 better than where we were in January. Those slaughter cows selling primarily 84 to 96 there at Glendive Livestock. And of course, bred cow prices churning higher. They of course usually do move higher as we get closer to calving, but boy, we're several $100s above where we were at this point a year ago. Bred heifers in Dickinson averaging $22.43, young bred cows $21.21, solid mouth cows at Stockman's Livestock averaging $18.91. And bull sales performing very strong here this year. I know our seed stock producers are liking what they're seeing there with these averages. A lot of them 10 to 20% over last year. We've seen some 40% or better from the year before. So some strong prices on these bull sales. And as we wrap up here, I talked about we wanted to look at CattleFax's updated market outlook for what they're predicting in 2023. They updated that from December, and really, they're still forecasting strong prices. They've widened some ranges from what we saw earlier. Fed cattle are projected to average $1.58, 800-pound yearlings $195 with a range of $175 to $215. 5.5-weight steer calves forecast with an average at $2.25. Now, if you're looking at those prices and what we just saw earlier, you can tell we're above some of those averages that are forecasted annually. So we could be looking at seasonal highs here. Or I could just as easily see this market pushing higher all the way into the fall. If it makes you nervous though, if you're losing sleep at night about what this market is doing now and what it could do, consider some livestock risk protection. Reach out to Ag Risk Advisors and you can lock these prices in, still leaving the top side open though if prices do push higher. So there is a lot of opportunity, but boy, we are optimistic about this cattle market. Hopefully the weather will help us out here through the rest of 2023, and we'll be seeing cattle producers in the driver's seat of this market for several years now. Thanks so much for joining us for this month's report. Have a good one.